So I just crossed into Virginia and I'm immediately surrounded by mountains. I don't think you guys can see that good. I don't know how it'll come out because it's foggy, but this is all new to me. My Florida man butt has never seen anything quite like this. What's up, guys? So we are not in Florida anymore. If you look around, look at where I'm at. I am in the mountains of Virginia. And I was at my camp in South Carolina, deer hunting, and the deer weren't moving. So I was talking to my buddy, Billy Tarver of Crusty Mullet Podcast. And he said, I'm at my place in Virginia. Why don't you come up here? It's only about another 4 hours. So I hopped in the truck and shot up here. But check this out, y'all. He's doing a Euro on a big old buck right now. He's got another one in there, and we're gonna go out this evening. We're gonna see if we can get a deer. And I'm just floored by this place. I was driving in, there's huge mountains. I'm from Florida, so any kind of topography just blows my mind. I was hanging out the truck window looking around. He's got this super cool old farmhouse that I don't even know when is this thing from? How old's your house?
Turn of the century.
Turn of the century. And I don't even know when that is. But
1900s?
1900s. So it's raining a little bit and it's warmer than usual, but we're gonna see what we can get done.
I don't like keeping these boiling. I like keeping them where they're simmering.
Yeah.
And then do it like.
I've never made one, man. What
So you basically can, if you get them to simmer, and then every so often you take them out. And this one hasn't been soaking long enough. But I'll take it and just basically
just shake some meat off of it.
It gets to the point where, see, it gets to the point though, stuff starts really coming off of it, sloughing off, and then I mushed up the brain. But after a while, the meat starts peeling back. But you just don't want to do it too fast. You want to do a very slow simmer, because if you do it too fast, you degrade the integrity of the bone. It'll like fall apart. You'll lose the nasal stuff on it. You know.
That's cool, man. I want to make one. I've never done it before.
It's cool. I just basically simmer them in there with put a little Dawn in there, and I'll put some of that Mule Team Borax detergent. They'll cut the grease on them. And
do you do any bleaching or anything like that?
Once it's all done, I'll take you can take electrical tape, or some people take bags and rubber bands, and you come right up to the butts of the antlers, and you basically protect the antlers, because you know where they've been rubbing and the coloration. You want to keep all that.
Yeah.
So you'll protect that. Once you get all the meat and the sinew and all that off, you'll take 40% peroxide, which you get like Sally Beauty.
Yeah.
And you put it in like a non-reactive.
Whiten it all up.
Yeah, and you put it in there, and then I'll take a paintbrush. Some people just soak it, but they'll bleach out the base of their antlers.
Yeah, so you gotta be careful.
So you protect them, and then you paint it down, and
that's awesome.
Put a sealant on it, like a clear coat sealant, so it won't yellow. And there you go.
But look at these. Wondering, yeah, we're two dudes on a four-wheeler. There's space, okay? I don't want to hear about it. That's a big old doe. I'm gonna get down. All right, guys, we got it done. I'm so thankful that Billy invited me up to his place. I was having a tough hunt in South Carolina, and he said, look, you know, if you want to come up here and shoot a doe. He knew I was trying to make a video, and man, he came through for me. All right, so I got it done. Beautiful deer, huge for what I'm used to seeing in Florida and South Carolina. But we're gonna get her up the hill and see about getting it cleaned up. I'm gonna do a heart recipe for you guys. So, you know, a lot of people put the hearts in the gut pile, and I really love eating them. I enjoy them. So I'm not gonna skin it out for you guys, but next thing you know, we'll be cooking up some heart. New one going in the soup pot. Where'd you get that one?
So this one's from here as well. A little split brow in there. What's cool about deer up here, especially, is you tuck your elbows and you extend it out. Yeah. And you get a little lower, and you lean it forward like that.
I think it really looks 140.
Like, it goes 140 from like about 100.
You know, add some inches.
That's right.
That's still a nice buck though, man.
I mean, well, funny story with this one. Fisher, my 10-year-old and I were sitting there on that back stand off the back of the house, and you know, I'm thinking he's gonna shoot a little 8-point, little something. Yeah. You know, we'll be very happy with this and that. And this thing walks up following 3 does. Like, we're sitting there, and he's got his little, you know, Remington 700 youth model, and he's sitting there in a little 243, and this thing walks up following these does, and I'm like, dude, Fisher, come on, you know, come on, buddy, you got this. I won't be here long. He's gonna push these does off. He walks right in, straight on. It's about 40 yards, and Fisher's kind of quiet, you know. It's down there. He starts messing with the scope, and I'm like, "Come on, buddy, come on, get out, get it." He starts kind of getting a little goobered up, and there was like a stump in front of it. But I mean, this is a neck shot all day long on top of that ridge. Couldn't quite get it together, and then I think that one of the does saw him moving his hand, split, and it split. Oh. And I'm like, it's all right, buddy, it's all right. And I'm coming back here, I'm like, really, you know? And then I was like, that buck's gone. You know, I'm not gonna see that buck again. And he showed up on a camera down the bottom, way down the creek, after they had left. I was like, I'm gonna go sit and hunt that deer. And it was just one of those nights where I had the feeling that if I go hike down there, he's gonna show up right at last light. He comes walking in, and I saw the, you know, the G2s all. I was like, that's him. And literally rolled him. And getting him up the mountain, different story.
Oh man.
One of those where I didn't know if I was going to come back.
A huff and puff?
Yeah, I mean, there's no one to call up here. But if I died on the side of a mountain with this in my hand, I mean, there's worse ways to go.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It was a cool deal.
So I killed a deer last night, and I gotta admit something to you guys. I'm not gonna front for YouTube. I came up to shoot a doe, and group of does walked out. I'd already seen one with a small fawn, which is super cool. You know, this time of year, a doe having a spotted fawn is crazy. It's December. But anyways, I shot what I thought was a big doe, and I messed up, y'all. The ultimate hunter's mistake, especially on a place where you're invited to hunt. I shot a spike, guys.
Too hard on yourself.
You know? But luckily, Billy is an extremely nice guy, and he didn't make me sleep outside or anything last night.
If I was a fun guy, I'd be a mushroom. It was defensive. In Ian's defense, the deer was actually making threatening motions towards him. So you got to do what you got to do sometimes. Yeah?
You know, I had an itchy trigger finger. A group of does walked out, and I didn't check every single one of their heads. I was just looking at him. I was like, well, I'm going to shoot the biggest doe in the pack. That'll be the mature doe. And I actually have it on video, and you guys are going to see that now. And you can see my face just sink when I realize what I did. And I feel bad about it. First sit, we had a doe come in with what was still a spotted fawn, which is crazy for December. We're in Virginia, in the mountains, Southwest Virginia. And that doe moved off. And then I gave it some time. But you know what? If you've hunted, you've made the mistake before. And I honestly haven't been hunting. I haven't been hunting my whole life. I've been hunting 5-6 years. So I made a mistake. And on top of that,
it wasn't that big of a mistake.
On top of that, I wanted to do a heart video for you guys. I was going to cook it up. We were going to do a little hunter's breakfast, some onions and eggs. It's one of my favorite things to eat. But I absolutely smoked this thing in the heart. There isn't much left to eat, unfortunately.
But see, you have a chance for redemption right now. See that little piece right there?
Dude, I'm going to eat that. We're going to cook that. We're going to cook that with some of the inner loins out of this deer after we get it skinned up for lunch or something. That's what we're going to do. And then we might go set some traps, or who knows what we might get into. But
you don't have to cook it. We could do this right now.
Oh no, no, dude, I'm not doing it. Billy will, but I'm not. All right, so we're going to cook our deer inner loins. These are from the inside of the deer. They're not the back straps, you know, the most tender piece on the deer. And we're gonna do it super simply, just in a cast iron here. I'm gonna put a little bit of a seasoning marinade on this thing. Here, Billy, hold this thing for a second. All right, so we've got them. They're all trimmed out, cleaned up real good, picking off, you know, all that fat and whatnot. Just pull all this stuff off. Get that off of there. But they really, you don't have to do too much of them. They're nice and dry. Dry them off like so. Get you any little pieces of hair off of there. And this deer just hadn't even been dead 24 hours. They're still gonna be good. We're gonna do, let's see, some garlic powder and some coarse black pepper. You know, just working with what we got here. Too much. Flip them over, do the same thing. And what I'm gonna do, instead of salt, I'm gonna use some of this Dale's. I like the flavor on it, but it's extremely salty, so I'm not going to salt these things. I'm not gonna go crazy on the Dale's because I want to taste the meat too, but I want a little flavor from it, so I'm just gonna kind of, just a little bit in there. And roll these around, and just a quick marinade on them, you know. Probably these are gonna sit while Billy starts the trout that you guys will see we caught in the next video. And then we're gonna sear these off in the cast iron, do them like a nice medium rare to medium. So cast iron's getting smoking hot. I'm gonna use a little something that Billy turned me on to. I haven't used grapeseed oil. What that's good for is you can go super high temp with it, and it won't burn like an olive oil or a butter or something like that. So I'm just gonna put just enough in the pan, coat the bottom. Super hot. We're gonna go in with our tenderloin, just like so. And it's probably only gonna be like maybe 3 minutes aside. So it's gonna happen super fast. But I see on the flip.
That's it.
Oh, look at that nice brown on there.
Beautiful.
You know, these things got like, they almost have like 3 sides on them, you know, like they're almost triangular. So I'll probably try to hit the 3rd side, if you will, get it all seared up.
Kind of like doing an ahi or a wahoo line.
Rotate the pan just because we got a little bit of tilt, and that way the oil and everything kind of gets all the same.
I built that into the cabinet when I built it.
It was planned.
It was planned.
It is a beautiful like butcher block on this old farm sink.
This comes from Statesville, North Carolina. My wife and I picked that up and installed it and
Billy Tarver Customs.
Redone. We've built all the stuff in here from salvaged wood.
Let's see if I can.
Oh man!
See that 3rd side? Sometimes you can kind of lean them against each other.
Well, there's a name for that.
I don't know what the name is.
I don't know. I know there's a name for it. Yeah.
Leaning. All right, it has not been long. We're gonna go ahead and pull these. Billy's working on his fish. And we're gonna let them rest for.
Don't want to stick it.
There we go. Now we're gonna let them rest. If I stuck it, all the juices would run out of it. But we're also cooking some fresh rainbow trout that we just caught. That's gonna be the 2nd video. So y'all check that one out too. So little important thing or an extra touch you can do is put some pads of butter on top of that while it's resting there, and you can. What are we doing here?
Excuse me, I've got to clear the table off real quick. Hopefully I can fit through the doorway over here.
Billy has killed a bunch of bucks this year, and he's working through them, doing the Euros. You guys saw a little bit of that in the beginning of the video, but these 2 are 2 that he finished off while I was here, and you've seen one of those. Well, the one that we did in the first in the thumbnail. That one's in the pot now, but we got our fish browning up super nice right now, and
we're dealing with little convection toasters and Bunsen burners, and I mean it ain't fancy stuff.
Adapt and conquer.
And it tastes better when it's not fancy.
Oh yeah, it wasn't no big deal. All right, y'all. So we've got our tenderloin. Moment of truth. Was going for rare. Let's see how it looks. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. Perfect. Tender. We went ahead and did that butter finished. Give it a try here. That is better than any filet mignon, anything you can get in any restaurant, in my opinion. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please go check out Crusty Mullet Podcast. This is Billy Tarver. He has had me up at his place in Virginia. And John Lindsley also does the podcast with him. It's super interesting. Best Florida hunting and fishing podcast out there, if not the best hunting and fishing podcast, period. Look him up on Apple and Spotify. Give him a listen. And if you like these videos, give my YouTube a subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.